appreciate the opportunity to talk about Aiken County's public schools. I'm Mary Glenn Piccolino, and I'm the Director of Communications and Community Partnerships for our community's public school system, Aiken County Public Schools. This is my 6th year with the school district, and I can tell you in just putting this presentation together, I could have gone on and on and on about the many wonderful things going on in our public schools. So it is just a pleasure to have the opportunity to share that with you. In Aiken County Public Schools, you will hear our employees and our students talk about one team. We are a rather large public school system with over 40 public schools, but we all work together, whether it's a school food service employee serving breakfast and lunch in our cafeterias, to a school bus driver or monitor, or certainly to a teacher in the classroom, or a principal in a school, or an employee at our district office serving in support of our public schools. We all work together as one team with a common mission to inspire and stretch and ensure that each student is able to reach his or her own personal success. Some of the things that are unique to our school district, our students are really high achieving. Our SAT score exceeds that of the state average and is comparable to our neighboring school districts, such as Richmond and Columbia County, and certainly to our neighboring school districts throughout the state. We have an excellent report card rating, and more than half of our schools just received a good or excellent rating from a really very difficult to achieve metric that is our new state accountability system. 90% of our class of 2019 is certified work ready. We put a huge emphasis on our students graduating with not only a diploma, but an employable skill set. Our school counselors in our high schools take responsibility for each and every one of their students to ensure that each has a path to success after they leave us. We want every student to either graduate with a plan to continue their education, or perhaps they're interested in enlisting in the military or going straight to the workforce. But our school counselors take responsibility for each and every one of their students. They have a meeting with our superintendent towards the end of the school year, and they account for each and every student's future plans before they leave us. Our graduating class of 2019 just graduated in June, and they graduated with $65 million in scholarships. So we're certainly proud of that number, and we've seen it grow in the last couple of years. We're certainly very proud and appreciative that we live in a community and in a county that has made a significant investment in its public school facilities. In 2014, when I first joined the school district, the county successfully passed a 1-cent sales tax on most purchases, and those funds have been used to better 5 public schools in our school district. And just this past year in 2018, they also passed a $90 million bond referendum. So what you see in our school district is close to a dozen schools being completely rebuilt from the ground up, increasing the safety of our learning environments, and certainly making these more suitable to 21st century learning. We are very, very proud that our school board and administration believes in teachers, and we compensate them for the incredible work that they do in our communities. We actually have the highest starting teacher salary in the state. So you can imagine if we pay the best, we get the best, and we are certainly very, very proud of that. We have a very aggressive recruitment strategy. Not only do we work hand in hand with our local universities, we also travel throughout the state and even throughout the nation to attract the best teachers and retain them here in Aiken, South Carolina. We have a robust gifted and talented program, which in the last couple of years we have just expanded. Not only are we expanding the number of teachers that we are paying for their education to get a gifted and talented certification, which is raising the level of rigor in our schools, we also are inviting students who haven't traditionally participated in gifted and talented education. The state has a formula for GT students, which is the abbreviation for gifted and talented, but we've expanded that to include additional students who maybe are just right on the cusp of actually being state identified. We're identifying local students who could just use that extra academic push. And I'll tell you, we believe in them, and they certainly are just meeting every expectation and exceeding that. So we put them in when they're state identified, but we found that with that extra push, within a year or two, they actually become part of the cohort that is state identified. We have a fantastic program for students with special needs. We have more than 250 highly qualified special education teachers, therapists, you name it, speech pathologists, we have it. We have a wonderful culture in our schools that is not, we don't have too many of our special ed students who are actually in their own classrooms. We really put an emphasis on integrating students where they can fit into a regular classroom. So a special ed student may have part of their day in a specialized classroom, but part of the day also with their peers. We have buddy programs, we have a special prom, we host the Special Olympics in this area, and we truly have a culture of inclusion in our public schools. Our students certainly excel in academics. We are increasing the number of students who are enrolled and who are excelling in advanced placement coursework. So not only we're increasing the level of rigor in our schools, but also students, if they score a 3 or a 4 or certainly a 5 on their advanced placement exams, they've passed that course for college credit. We're also increasing the number of students who are identified as junior scholars and who are part of the Duke TIP program. And that's a program for 7th graders. When they take the PSAT, they're just extremely gifted, and they've outperformed those throughout the state. We're increasing that number year over year. Our students excel in both academics and in the art. We have a number of state championship winners throughout our school district, whether it's tennis or basketball or football, soccer. We have a lot to be proud of in our county and appreciate the work of our athletic directors and coaches in helping to not only give students the opportunity to participate in a team sport, but also to help them become outstanding young men and women for our community. We also have award-winning arts programs in our public schools. My daughter Isabella is here with me today, and she actually takes part in our Summer Gifted and Talented program for artistically gifted youth. That is a free summer program. She goes from 8 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon. Her particular area of interest is in dance, but we also have students who try out and are accepted in visual and performing arts. Perhaps they are interested in playing an instrument or just being on stage. So we definitely like to reach those students who have a gift in the arts and, of course, to help them facilitate their dreams in that area. In years past, our school district has benefited tremendously from the work of Juilliard in Aiken. It's now called Joy in Aiken. But we have students who study at Juilliard and their professors come into our public schools and into our community and host workshops and really help students advance in their artistic desires. One thing that is unique to Aiken County Public Schools is that all of our elementary and middle schools have on-site after-school care. So a family with a working mom and dad are able to drop their kids off in the morning and know that they're safe in a nurturing, educational and fun environment for their students after school. These are really minimal cost, and in addition to that, there are scholarships as well as other opportunities for families who are struggling financially. We believe this helps not only as a convenience for families, but we're also able to help our after-school provider, which is the Quest Zone through Sunshine House. We're also able to extend their school day. So part of the time that they're there, they're on the computers and working on the same things that they were working on throughout the school day. I'm a working mom too, so I understand what a big help it is to have homework finished by the time I get home. So we just want to be a wonderful community partner to our families and also to provide a safe environment for our students. We're serious about safety in Aiken County Public Schools. As I mentioned, I'm a mother too, so there's nothing that's of greater importance to me or to our school district leadership than ensuring the safety of our students. When you drop them off with us in the morning, we know that you're putting great faith in us to return them to you safely in the afternoon. So every visitor who comes in our school district, they go through something that we call Hall Pass. It's in the front of our schools, and it does an instant background check on any visitor to our school. In addition to that, we work collaboratively with our local law enforcement in planning for drills. We just this past week had a reunification drill. We don't want anything to ever happen in our schools, but we certainly want to be well prepared and just as knowledgeable as we could possibly do to plan for the unexpected. One of the new things in our school district that started in 2016 is Aiken Works, which is a community workforce development collaborative. And we started that with hand in hand with business and industry in our area. As I mentioned at the beginning, we do want students to graduate with both a diploma and an employable skill set. And so what we've done is through a marketing campaign, we've helped educate our students and families about what the highest demand workforce fields are in our area, which in Aiken County are energy, healthcare, cyber technology, and manufacturing. We're also working hand in hand with our business community to give students hands-on experiences, especially in those career clusters, so that our students are well prepared through apprenticeships, job shadowing day. We had hundreds of students participate last year in internships through the summer months and also through the school year. In addition to that, we take great ownership in helping students to develop into outstanding citizens for our community and world. This past year, we started an Attributes of Premier Students campaign. You'll see it up all over our schools. What we want is students to understand those basic attributes of what makes not only a good student, but a good person. So being tech-focused or goal-oriented, or being a lifelong learner. Those things we want to instill in our students, and you'll see it not only in our schools, but in our social media, on our website, on our morning news shows. We want students to take ownership of not only becoming a wonderful student, but also a wonderful person. We've expanded our thematic programs in Aiken County Public Schools, and this coming up school year, more than half of our schools will actually have a thematic program. Some of the programs that I'll discuss a little bit more of are our Advanced Placement Academies, and that's through the National Math and Science Initiative. I'll also be discussing a little bit about Aiken Scholars Academy, which is a school for highly gifted and talented students, and that is done in partnership with USC Aiken. And I'll also talk a little bit about our World Language Immersion programs that are launching in our elementary schools next year, excuse me. Part of our community's investment in public education has been for a school that's just right down the road, for Millbrook Elementary School. There's an $11 million expansion that is going to take place beginning next fall for Millbrook. In addition to that, Millbrook will be one of our 3 elementary schools that's launching a World Language Immersion program. Millbrook will be our home to German language immersion. We also have Mandarin Chinese in Belvedere, as well as Spanish at Clearwater Elementary School. This will start with next year's kindergarten class, and that cohort of students will move all the way up. So we'll start with kindergarten, but certainly we see the benefits for all of our students in elementary school, as not only students will be exposed to the language immersion, which will be half of their school day in the chosen language, but also the cultural aspects of having a language immersion school will benefit students in each level. We are actually the only elementary school program offering World Language Immersion in the CSRA. One of our schools that was improved through the 2014 1-cent sales tax was Aiken High School, and it is just a showstopper. From the Beehive lights to the media center, it is just absolutely, makes you want to go back to high school. It really does. It is absolutely beautiful. The students are enjoying it, the teachers, and your environment does change how you feel. And so we're seeing students just really take a lot of ownership in their school, and certainly a lot of pride. In addition to having a completely brand new school, Aiken High School has actually been named the state's first Cambridge International program. And so this is similar to an international baccalaureate program where students have the opportunity to earn college coursework credit. But we were particularly interested in Cambridge because every single student at Aiken High will have the opportunity to take a Cambridge course. So while every student in other schools may not be IB or International Baccalaureate, it may be going on in their school, but they might not take any part in that at all. But with Cambridge, each and every student in the school at least takes one Cambridge course, and there is truly something for everyone with that program. We're expanding that to Schofield Middle School starting next school year, and they are the state's first lower secondary Cambridge International program. But certainly not to be outdone, South Aiken High School just down the road is a National Math and Science Initiative Advanced Placement Academy. And we're changing the culture of advanced placement in that school, as well as at North Augusta High School and Silver Bluff High School in the Jackson New Ellington community. Where AP used to be a program for an elite group of students, we're encouraging students who haven't traditionally participated in advanced level coursework to get involved. What you see here in the photo is an academic pep rally. Those are typically for athletics, but we have started to not only celebrate the students who have taken the AP challenge, but also their teachers who are leading them in that effort. Studies show that students benefit from passing an AP course, but just that academic rigor. Students who score a 2 on their AP exam are still much better prepared for their college level coursework. It's that academic stretch. It's just pushing students further than they may have thought that they could go, but our students are certainly rising to the challenge. Also this school year, we're beginning our community's first 6th grade only school. Middle school can be a difficult time for students. It is actually, compared to when you're a baby, it's the only other time in your life where you experience that much change in your life. And so we're starting a 6th grade school where students throughout the city of Aiken will go. We look forward to not just the nurturing environment that school will provide, but also the relationships of students who haven't traditionally gone to school together will have at least 1 year together, and we can already look ahead to the wonderful relationships and partnerships that will produce. They're going to be the home of the explorers. Students will explore a little bit of everything there, from world language to different arts and dance and music. If we have it in our county, we will have it at that school. And certainly couldn't end this presentation without talking about Aiken Scholars Academy. It is an elite experience for students throughout the county, so they don't necessarily have to be a current student of our school district. They could attend homeschool, private school, or be moving into this area. But it is an academic program for 50 of our brightest students. Students will begin their freshman year there on USC Aiken's campus. It's our own school within a college. They spend their first 2 years at Aiken Scholars Academy and then finish their second 2 years at USC Aiken. Their credits can either continue on to finish college, or they could be transferred to the school of the student and family's choice. The benefit in this to our students and families, of course, is that it's completely without cost to our students and families. There's no fee for attending outside of the traditional fees that a student would experience in any of registration fees. Well, that is it. I'm happy to take any questions from the audience, and certainly do appreciate your time and your interest in our Aiken County Public Schools. We believe that we have the best academic programs, students, teachers, and staff throughout this community, and we appreciate your interest in learning more about it.